These are two identical Ricks, and together with them today, we run an experiment right on the space station. I stand by the airlock and flip a coin. It decides. The Rick on the right goes into open space with no protection at all, while his twin on the left gets a minimal safety kit, an oxygen mask, and a maneuvering pack. After a few seconds, the airlock opens and both fly into the vacuum.
The first Rick enters space wearing only shorts and a t-shirt. In the very first instant, he gasps, but within fractions of a second, the air tears out of his lungs on its own with a rasp like a ripped tire. If he held his breath, the lungs would burst because there is no external pressure. The blood in his capillaries begins to boil, not from heat, but because in vacuum, boiling happens at body temperature. This effect is called ebullism. Bubbles appear on the mucosa at once, and Rick tries to inhale again, but there is no air around him. Everything happens and without mercy. His eyes round and the tongue protrudes slightly from internal pressure. The skin tightens and Rick swells by about 15% of his volume. He does not explode, but looks like a mannequin inflated from within, while saliva and sweat evaporate straight off the surface. Body temperature drops, not from cold, but because moisture leaves through evaporation, the only way to lose heat in vacuum. After 10 seconds, the brain passes out from lack of oxygen, while the heart keeps beating idly for another half minute.
While he spins, a crystalline film appears on his skin. Water freezes right on the surface. Rick stops moving, his fingers are clawed, and the nails darken. This is not death in the usual sense, but an instant halt of all processes with no chance of recovery, and he turns into a motionless, frozen copy of himself. We no longer look at him and let him go. He drifts away forever. Nothing can be revived. The second Rick wears an oxygen mask and a maneuvering pack. There is no ceiling because I did not give him a suit, so the face, hands, and neck are in direct vacuum. And we see the mask will not save him. It gives oxygen but will not stop ebullism, will not equalize pressure, and will not protect the mucosa. The mask only delays death. Rick fires a pulse from his pack to stabilize, turn, and try to return to the station, the aim. But after 10 seconds, the mouth and nose membranes begin to boil, the lips crack, moisture on the tongue evaporates, and his eyes go wide. He breathes, but it helps little. Oxygen does not reach the cells, there is no pressure, and blood foams. By the 20th second, he loses orientation.
Facial muscles stop obeying, teeth clench involuntarily, ringing fills the ears, blood flow to the head worsens, fingers go numb, vision clouds, and Rick no longer understands whether he is approaching the station or flying away from it. He cannot judge distance.
His body puffs outward, and by the 30th second, he no longer feels his legs. The timer panel flickers. The pulse climbs past 180, and Rick jerks in the mask, tries to correct the trajectory, but begins to faint. The last impulse he makes by chance, the head tilts back, and by the 50th second, the body moves on inertia alone. After 1 minute, Rick hits the station's hole and ricochets toward the airlock. By accident, he scrapes the hole with his foot, and within a few seconds he touches the side panel and a motion sensor trips. The emergency system detects a biological object near the airlock. The mechanism acts automatically, the hatch opens, and the body is slowly drawn into the station. It all happens fast.
Pressure is restored and the air hisses, but Rick does not move. His eyes are open yet empty, and he automatically gulps air with his mouth. A reflex. He is alive, but not for long. Ebullism has damaged tissues. The mucosa is ruined. Vessels burst in the eyes and lungs, and the larynx is swollen. He cannot speak and lies. After 10 minutes, he shakes. After 20, he blinks. And after 1 hour, he finally turns his head for the first time.
The internal damage is too extensive. The mucous membranes are destroyed, there are gas bubbles in the lungs, and likely multiple microbleeds. The brain endured hypoxia and the heart overload, and the chances of full recovery are almost zero. He survived by accident, and this is not thanks to hardware. It was a lucky push vector and a timely airlock opening. While he lies still, in a far corner of the station, the coin that started it all keeps spinning. While it spins, subscribe if you are proud of Rick.